Hello ladies and gents, welcome to Reaction. It's a very interesting video. Somebody told me I should watch this one. It's from Mark Felton Productions. The shocking state of British Navy in 2026. This is a month-old video. It already has nearly 2 million views. British Navy is probably one of the biggest navy in history. Not counting current American Navy, obviously, but you should do that anyway, otherwise all statistics will look weird. But yeah, British Navy stretched nearly third of the world, and that's because of their powerful Navy. That is what they're known for, right? British Navy. That is why they dominated the world. So falling off this hard that the title, I kind of knew somewhat about it, like how it was declining. But I'm sure I'm going to be surprised in this one. Like, let's just watch this one.
Recently, my video entitled "The Navy with More Admirals Than Warships" caused a bit of a stir online when it emerged that the ones...
Whoa, what? More admiral than ships? How does that work?
Great Royal Navy was so reduced in size that it has more senior officers of flag rank than actual warships, a truly unthinkable situation even 30 years ago. As Britain continues to be put through a process termed managed decline by generations of politicians, the armed forces have likewise been decimated, until we faced a situation recently, with the outbreak of the war in Iran, when Britain was seemingly incapable of dispatching at short notice a single warship to the defense of one of her sovereign bases overseas, this one in Cyprus, recently attacked. So in the interests of clarity, I decided to look closely at the current Royal Navy to determine what state it is in March 2026. The first thing to note is that it is too small. Former senior officers and defence analysts have been banging on about the size of the Royal Navy for decades, as it lacks sufficient ships to be an effective force any longer, and the figures do indeed show this. Currently, the Royal Navy has 63 commissioned ships, but of this number only 25 are really fighting ships, that is, submarines, aircraft carriers, destroyers and frigates. The balance are support, patrol and survey vessels, which though armed are not true fighting warships. Such a small fleet might be sufficient for a small nation engaged only in self-defense, but Britain still has some 15 overseas territories, many of which, like the Falkland Islands, require...
Yeah, so Gibraltar, obviously. British Indian Ocean Territory, so that's Diego Garcia. I thought Diego Garcia was American island, but no, it's somewhat joint or something. It's British, right? That's why America was asking permission to British or something. So they still have like Falkland, yeah, okay, right. Gibraltar and all that, yeah, makes sense. How do you have all these things and yet you don't have a navy to defend all these places? How are you going to defend this if somebody suddenly say like, screw it, this is all mine? If China says this is all mine, how are you going to defend it if you don't have a good navy, man? It doesn't make sense to me.
Naval protection. Plus, Britain is of course involved with a variety of defence tasks worldwide, but due to endless defence cuts, the Navy is hard-pressed to fulfil them. So of the fighting ships in 2026, Britain possesses 10 submarines, 2 aircraft carriers, 6 destroyers,
6
and 7 frigates. A decade earlier, in 2016,
all of the 6 destroyers and 7 frigates. Everything else didn't surprise me, like, okay, fine enough. But this isn't this like very low? Shouldn't you have more destroyers and frigates?
Situation wasn't much better. 11 submarines, no aircraft carriers, 6 destroyers.
Oh, 3 carriers. Down. What do you mean 0? You have 2 aircraft carriers, don't you? What do you mean 0, 2016? 16 to 13 frigates, 10 destroyers to only 6 destroyers.
Destroyers and 13 frigates. 20 years ago, in 2006, the fleet had 9 submarines, 3 aircraft carriers, 1 helicopter carrier, 10 destroyers and 13 frigates. And 30 years ago, in 1996, the Royal Navy had 17 submarines, 3 aircraft carriers, 15 destroyers and 22 frigates. And it is
Ooh.
generally agreed that the Royal Navy should
Now that's good. 37, that's a good number between frigates and destroyers.
still be this large, as the defence commitments are basically the same as they were in 1996. So, roughly, the Royal Navy's fighting fleet has been reduced by half in 30 years, but is just as busy. Another issue is redundancy. Ships require regular maintenance and sometimes complete refits or updates that can take years. It means that at any one time, numbers of vessels will be doing nothing, and so you require sufficient vessels to make up this shortfall and still maintain operational commitments.
I mean, there's a reason why America has 11 aircraft carriers, but only 3 are operational at any given time.
Sadly, as you will see, a good majority of the current fighting fleet is immobilized, undergoing refit or maintenance, with no ships able to cover these losses. Also, a few months...
Military doesn't work like that, man. Come on, you can't just have a gap. We have a good navy. Oh, by the way, there's maintenance if we don't have a backup, so I guess we don't have a navy right now. How does that work? Isn't Britain like in top 10 economy, like 6, 7 or something? 6, 7? Why did I say that? God. Why can't you invest in this? It's not like you don't have the technology. It's Britain, right? There's still a lot of technology. Britain has a hand in it, right? Like Scalp missiles, Hammer missile is joint made with Britain and France and many other technology. Britain does have a hand in it. So it's not like Britain doesn't have the technology. Why can't you make it?
Months ago, I made a video about the parlous state of Britain's seaborne nuclear deterrent. We operate 4 Vanguard-class ballistic missile submarines, and at any one time, 1 is supposed to be on patrol, 1 is undergoing training, 1 is in refit, and 1 is undergoing trials. We do know that the aging V-boats are requiring more frequent and longer refits and maintenance to stay in service. This, of course, is common sense. These are highly complex but elderly pieces of machinery. Your car goes the same way, after all.
Not to mention, this is like part of the nuclear triad, right? Like a nuclear ballistic missile carrying submarine. So yeah, that requires much better maintenance because you don't want that to mess up.
2023, the oldest boat in the class, HMS Vanguard, was returned to service after a refit lasting 7 years. So between 2016 and 2023, officially only 3 V-boats were doing the work of 4. That must have meant that each patrol was extended from 3 to 4 months, adding enormous strain to crews running submerged for such long periods of time. Currently, HMS Victorious, the second boat in the class, is also in long-term refit from 2023 for at least 3 to 4 years, perhaps longer. HMS Vengeance, the fourth boat, entered a long overhaul period and reactor refueling between March 2012 and February 2016. All this means that the Royal Navy only has 3 V-boats in operation at any one time, not 4 as advertised, with 1 always out of service in refit at any one time. We can probably also surmise that of the remaining 3, at least 1 must have had some kind of fault or maintenance issue during these periods that probably left only 2 operational. Or these...
Oh my god, something just dawned on me. Before US attacked Iran, Iran probably had more operational ships, frigates and things than Britain. What did I just say? What is even happening anymore? This is not some country like, okay, it's decent country which was powerful. No, this is Britain. I get it, it's not, Britain is no longer as what it used to be, but this hard of a fall? That is insane, man. What are you doing? It's not like you're like poor or like you're like struggling for money or something. Did you, because of NATO, did you just give all that up like, yeah, NATO will figure it out And NATO mostly relies on America nowadays. So it's like, yeah, sure, we have America. But what if like someone like Trump, like, oh, I don't care about Britain now? What you gonna do then? Russia is getting ideas in Ukraine. Who knows where that idea leads? You really want to do this?
These elderly boats are in fact going to sea with serious maintenance issues or dangerous faults, simply because the continuous at-sea deterrent has to be maintained somehow. I would hazard a guess that gaps must have occurred in Britain's continuous at-sea deterrent, though I doubt the Ministry of Defence or the government would ever admit such. The state of Britain's inadequate flotilla of fleet submarines is truly shocking. We have 6 Astute-class fleet submarines in the Navy, which is too few. And incredibly, in March 2020...
Okay, is it just me? Why does that look like a cow or something with 2 ears and like pointing down, right? Look at that. Is it just me? Come on, it's like cow in the water.
Only 1 is operational. Let's examine this situation. HMS Astute is undergoing a midlife revalidation period that will last for years.
Midlife crisis.
HMS Ambush has been in long-term maintenance since 2022. HMS Artful has been undergoing regeneration and maintenance since 2023. HMS Audacious has been in refit since 2023. And
Hold up there. So in 2022, when Russia decided to invade Ukraine, special military operation, year later you suddenly realized like, yeah, let's reduce our navy by putting it in maintenance. Was that really critical maintenance? Like without it would have like malfunctioned or something? That wasn't the best time to do that. Come on.
HMS Agamemnon is undergoing testing and
Agamemnon,
sea trials
all
and
right.
won't actually enter full-time service until March 2027.
Why you went Greek there?
That leaves HMS Anson as the only operational British fleet submarine at this time. 1 active hunter-killer submarine to cover the entire fleet. She is currently out in the Middle East after leaving her base in Western Australia. Which military genius thought it was a good idea to reduce the hunter-killer fleet to just 6 boats? You see the point about redundancy. 5 boats.
UK Midfield Headquarters. I love this. I love this, man. This is so good. This is Prime Minister's home or whatever. Right? I remember even in Top Gear, like they went there. There's Prime Minister. It's just a home on a road. Shouldn't it be more secure? Man, I never understood this one. It's just like there. I get it. Like Britain is very old and very historical, so this is probably very old house, and it's like significance like that. I don't know. But it's just you can just like open the door and there's like on the road. I don't know, isn't that a like risky bit?
Out of service with nothing to cover them. Moving on to the aircraft carriers, Britain currently has 2 enormous carriers, though insufficient surface vessels to protect them properly. Only 1 is actually operational, HMS Prince of Wales, held at high readiness to sail to support military operations in the Middle East. Though without a protective umbrella of destroyers and frigates, she could very well end up being
Britain's aircraft carrier may need French escort. What happened to you, Britons? That sentence should give you like shivers. Like that should be just awaken British inside of you. That sentence alone. Britain's aircraft carrier may need French escort. Really?
being a £3 billion target. The other one, HMS Queen Elizabeth, is in dry dock at Rosyth in Scotland, undergoing extensive repairs.
The largest aircraft carrier that is not American. Yeah.
To her extremely temperamental propulsion system. Moving on to destroyers. Successive governments have seen fit to think that only 6 destroyers are adequate, which is clearly deranged and incredibly irresponsible. So out of 6 vessels, how many are operational in March 2026? A grand total of 2.
That is daring.
HMS Dragon, a vessel recently in the news that was supposed to be sent to Cyprus.
That I'm guessing that's a Wales logo or something. But yeah, that's awesome. HMS. What is this like? Back to those like what is this Assassin's Creed Black Flag? There's like pirate style logo there because it's dragon. Don't think too much into it because of like dragon. It looks badass, right? Look at that. Like, coming towards you, HMS Dragon. There's like a dragon logo on it.
Cyprus to protect British interests there, and HMS Duncan. The other 4 are all laid up for one reason or another. The class leader HMS Daring is preparing to return to service after an absence of 8 years under refit. HMS Dauntless is entering a 3-month scheduled support period
Dauntless.
following return from deployment in the Pacific. HMS Diamond is doing likewise after a deployment to the Red Sea. And HMS Defender is at Portsmouth,
Of
undergoing
course.
a £68 million upkeep and upgrade program. And what about the frigates, the workhorses of the fleet? Here things have improved slightly. The Royal Navy has a fleet of 7 Type 23 frigates, and in March 2026, 5 are active. 2 are not. HMS Richmond is due to be decommissioned this year after 31 years service with no replacement.
What the hell? I was just about to say, like, and replacing it? Nothing? Air? Thin air? How is this military even functioning like this, man? If this was 10th most powerful country and not having as rich of a history as Britain does, even then I would be like, how are you doing this? But this is Britain. How are you retiring as ships without, like, it's not like, again, it's not like you're poor or something. It's not like you have money problems. How is this happening?
And HMS Kent is undergoing deep maintenance at Devonport since 2024. But only 5 operational frigates is still a shockingly low figure. They are all old vessels as well. If we compare today's active fleet with the fleet that retook the Falklands in 1982, the sorry state of the Navy is plain to see. If another Falklands-type crisis was to emerge today, could we deal with it? Probably not. In 1982, the Royal Navy was quite...
You would ask help, like the way Britain's been working recently. I think coalitions usually form, but usually those coalitions involve America. And after Trump getting pissed off at Starmer, would Trump be like, yeah, let's help Britain? I don't know about that. Maybe France and Britain would get along. I don't know.
quite large. Britain at the time had 3 aircraft carriers, 12 destroyers compared to 6 today, and 43 frigates compared to just 7 today. In 1982, the Royal Navy deployed the Falklands Task Force, which was 2 aircraft carriers, 8 destroyers and 16 frigates, plus an assortment of other vessels, and still managed to fulfill its other worldwide obligations.
Armies?
If the Falklands kicked off today, the Royal Navy could, at a stretch, deploy 1 aircraft carrier, 2 destroyers and 5 frigates, but only if it stripped all active vessels from all other duties worldwide. If you look hard enough, you will find that another class of warship is actually doing most of the work in 2026, while the bigger warships remain largely out of action. The River-class offshore patrol vessels. At a little under 2,000 tons each, this class are really corvettes or sloops, the type of small warship that existed in earlier Royal Navy fleets. But they don't have...
But old style brigs used to be, right? I'm a big Black Flag fan. Yeah, so brig, frigate, and then man of war. So there's like brig style small boats, but not too small.
have that designation today due to not being armed with anti-aircraft and anti-ship missiles, just guns. Retrofitting these vessels might be a good idea to make them more like little frigates or corvettes to fill out the Navy's pool of warships. Currently, there are 7 vessels in service, and incredibly, all 7 are currently operational, from protecting the seas around Britain to protecting the Falkland Islands and also deploying to the South Pacific. These insufficiently armed vessels are really doing the jobs of frigates and destroyers, which is an alarming indictment of the state of the Royal Navy in 2026. Anyway, there it is in black and white. Check it out for yourself. You will be shocked. A tiny navy with lots of commitments and too few ships and personnel, crippled by decades of political mismanagement, and now barely
Gordon Brown, Tony Blair, I think that's a famous name, isn't it? John Major, I don't know.
able to send to sea a single submarine or
Boris Johnson, of course.
destroyer, let alone a fleet.
Yeah, Cameron, Boris Johnson, Theresa May, yeah.
It's enough to make you cry. It is said that if you stand beside
Huh? Yeah, oh, wait a minute. Just a day, right? She lasted a day at least. Truce.
The grave of Admiral
Rishi Sunak, I don't know, 2 years he did, and Starmer, the most favorite PM of them all.
Lord Nelson, and listen carefully, you can actually hear him rotating at about 1,500 revolutions a minute. Many thanks for watching. Please subscribe.
One day he's gonna become a neutron star. That's how fast he's gonna spin. Ah, man, this surprised me. I'm not gonna lie. Like I thought it's gonna be okay, bad compared to America, or bad compared to China. I didn't know it was so bad. It's like, who do you compare this to? It was bad compared to Iran. Hell, man, that's insane to me. I don't know, man. This just feels weird. After this kind of a major empire that once stood, now it's not like it's not like you're poor. Why are you not doing it? Like, is this like policy thing? Is it like, okay, fine, let's not put money into military or something? Are you waiting for World War III? That World War II like World War III, not like instantly annihilation. World War III where things stretches out. You probably screwed if that happens, man. Because in World War I, World War II, you were powerful, and now you're not. France just like went out in World War II. World War III, Britain might be the first to went out like that. The hell. Right, well, there you go. If you like my channel, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.